Hello, hello. Good morning. I'm John Saunders, the host of the Creator Community Podcast from book publisher New Degree Press. I'm here this morning to talk with Valeria Aloe, a new author who just actually published her book on Amazon today, January 11th, 2022. Couldn't be more excited to have Valeria on the show this morning to give you a little update about her book and what's going on with her. And also her podcast episode with New Degree Press, which is coming out in just tomorrow. Is that right, Valeria?
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Very exciting. I think it's going to go live at 10 a.m. on YouTube, which is really awesome. But how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. And, a little shaky because I just pressed the publish button in Amazon. So the book will be live this Thursday. But that feeling of just pressing the button and putting it out there in the world is very unique, I have to say. So doing amazing.
Content creation. It's right. It's a scarier proposition than we sometimes think about when you, and certainly creating a book, talk about the ultimate content creation.
Yes.
I had the same feelings the week I hit go on mine, but it's out there. You can't change it anymore, right? How you feeling this morning?
It's a unique feeling. There is a lot of vulnerability that goes into writing a book, and also that pride of bringing the voices of other Latinas into the story. So I'm very excited, but I also feel a little nervous about the whole thing. It's like a big goal that is manifested, and there was so much hard work behind it that when it's real like that, you have all sorts of emotions. So I feel a lot of things inside of me. I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm excited, I'm nervous. It's everything together.
It's an incredible story with an incredible mission, and I certainly appreciate your feelings. And I use the word very mission intentionally because that's been a big part of your journey, right? Not only getting the book off the ground, but a mission to help Latinas really, create and better own their own journeys and find a better life for themselves. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, essentially, in the US and also in all of Latin America, I strongly believe that there is so much more for us Latinas. In the US particularly, we need more of us in the leadership positions, in spaces where decisions are made, in spaces of power. And also there is a lot of opportunity for us to build our wealth, right? To make more money. So the best is yet to come, as I always say. And this is the right time for Latinas. This is a moment in history when we're going to take action, to put ourselves first and to step into what we really want. And I'm proud that the book is part of that movement that is starting in the US and beyond.
What a great way to frame it. And I have a follow-up question for you there, but just so everybody knows, this is a session we call Meet the Author, and it's a chance to get to know the authors from New Degree Press that are on the podcast this season 3 in 2022, and get to know a little bit more behind the scenes in a less formal format. But you made a really interesting point there, Valeria, I'd love to dig into. Why is now the time for Latinas?
Because I believe that we have been a little bit, I have to say, disconnected from our own power, from each other, and also from the opportunities that are opening up in the market. So 10 years ago, we didn't have these opportunities that are opening up right now for diverse talent. And right now, there is a wave of opportunities that are opening up. So now is the time to take action, but I really believe that we have not yet tapped into our power because we have not been aware of the huge power and the huge contribution we make to the US economy. So now that we have more awareness about those numbers, it's time to have the awareness about our own power, to be really in tune with your essence in a way and to bring your full self to the world. That's why now is the time. It's been a journey of being aware and of connecting with each other, of discovering our individual and collective power, and it has been building over time. Now it's at that point that is ready and ripe to manifest.
What a great way to frame it. You talked about connecting with other Latinas. How many Latinas did you interview for your book?
55 in roughly 3 or 4 months. It's quite intense.
Interviewing people's not an easy task, is it? It takes an incredible amount of focus and energy, and 55, I mean, that's a pretty rapid pace. How did you squeeze that into your life?
I had to make it very intentional to open up time for my book every single day. And also, I have to say that I enjoy connecting with so many Latinas. I learned so much. I'm a white Latina immigrant from Argentina. I've been here for 20 years, but many of these, all of these Latinas had a different story. Many of them born in Latin America, some of them born in the US. So there was a mix. Some of them corporate leaders, others are leaders in nonprofits, others were students. So a really good mix of Latinas. And it was a journey of self-discovery for me as well, to go deeper into that, on our identity, and also to connect at a deeper level with the stories of those Latinas. And initially I started with the small group of people that I knew. And I was very surprised to learn that I had known them for 10 years, but I had not been aware of their stories growing up. So that was a big wake-up call for me to say, wow, I know all these people. Some of these are my very good friends, but how much do I really know about them, right? Because we have not shared these stories. We have not sat down to share these stories. Some of these stories are very vulnerable, and it takes time and it takes to create that safe space to connect at a deeper level. So that was a blessing that came through that. And then people started to talk to people, and I ended up connecting with many Latinas who were not in my network. So that's the blessing of writing a book. It expands your boundaries in a way. It expands your life. It brings new people to your life, and it creates a stronger connection with the people that you already know.
Not only people that you know, but that have a passion for the topic that you're thinking and researching. And what I find fascinating about the book journeys is so many times people think about it and say, well, I'm going to create a book and put it out there to the world. And it's an output exercise. And in fact, I would argue most people learn, as I think you're describing, that it's really an input, and that you're learning, you're researching, you're growing yourself. And it's really the biggest term paper you've ever written in your life, I think in most cases for many people.
Yes. And in my second language, I have to say, yes.
I mean, you know, I'm still getting a grasp on English, so I'm very impressed with what you've done here. So now let's dive into it here, Valeria. This is the fun part, the rapid fire segment here to let everybody really meet the author, as we call it here at New Degree Press, and run through a number of questions so people can really understand the person behind the story here. So should we get started?
I'm ready, yes.
Let's do it. I think the most important one first is what's the best sandwich, Valeria?
The best sandwich is the one that I discovered when I was pregnant, cheese sandwich. I was craving cheese sandwiches all the time with my first baby.
I believe it. Any particular kind of cheese?
I will probably mispronounce this, but Munster cheese?
I might call it Munster, but you know.
Monster. Let's call it Monster cheese.
Awesome. That's a cheese sandwich. You know, being a guy from Wisconsin, I really appreciate that. The America's Dairy Land. Favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. I see it on the cover of your book there in the top, just above your left shoulder.
Yes.
Love it. Favorite vacation spot?
So many, but I have to say, I love to go back to Argentina to see my family, and, you know, to be in nature in my home country, to touch the ground, to smell the air. That's, to me, the perfect vacation. Yes.
I love that. We're going to come back to that one in a little bit here. What is one thing out there, Valeria, you have that you should probably throw out?
That I have that I should probably throw out, like to the garbage?
That's
a la basura. Huh. What a great question. I have I am going to choose some of my husband's clothes. You know, wow. Yeah, like some of them maybe from the 80s. I can't think about a ski jacket that has been around forever, even though we do snowboard now. That ski jacket, and that's ready to go. Yeah.
I should have put you in capital letters, capital Y, capital O, capital U. What is something you should throw out? But, you know, that's interesting. You went with your husband. You're calling
me out here. You're putting me on the spot. So maybe.
I know for me, it's this pile of papers sitting off camera here that I got a good way through over the holidays, but need to do some more work on.
You just gave me, these sticky notes. You know, I have sticky notes all over. When I wrote my book, I had sticky notes all over my walls and everything. So I think it's time to clean up my sticky notes.
I mean, I think authors might be the greatest customers for 3M and the sticky notes out there, because I think we all have a billion of them all over, hiding on our walls in our offices. What is the scariest animal out there, Valeria?
Oh, spider.
Spiders, not an
Even the
uncommon,
tiny ones, the small ones. Yeah, awful.
not an
I like
uncommon
them.
one. What is your most audacious goal for 2022?
My most audacious goal, I'm going to say this out loud, to pitch for a TED Talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just had another author in a finals round for TEDx Austin, so we're waiting to hear on that one. That's awesome. Good luck with that. Uh, Favorite meal from Argentina?
Milanesas,
Could you tell us
ideally
a little more
con
about
papa
that?
fritas. So that's like breaded veal with fries. But in
All right.
Argentina, it's done in a way that is just amazingly unique and delicious. Yeah.
Wow,
And
that
maybe a
sounds.
second one would be empanadas, I have to say.
I love empanadas. That's a big fan. But this breaded veal sounds kind of interesting now. Now you get me thinking about lunch. Uh, Adopted favorite meal since moving to the U.S. What, about 20 years ago? Is that right?
20 years ago, yes. Favorite meal in the US?
Yes. What is your adopted favorite meal now that you've lived in a
A
new country for?
burger. A burger from Smash Burger.
Few things more American than the
Yes.
burger. I love it. Better fruit, apples or bananas?
I would say apples.
Agreed. Agreed. I have one almost every day. Big fan.
Oh. And
Uh,
it's nice. It looks nice next to a book for some reason. Right?
is it like on the teacher's desk kind of thing? Is that where
Yes.
we're going with it? Have you ever asked anyone? So you've now signed or are about to sign. Did you sign your books yet? Your
Not
pre-sale
yet. They
books?
are coming. The big box is coming soon. I hope next week.
How many
Yes.
books did you have in the pre-sale?
300. Well, then more. Almost 500 if I add corporations.
That is absolutely incredible. So for those who may not know, new authors tend to sell about 250 books on average in their first year. Valeria sold almost 500 in her pre-sale alone, and she will be publishing this week on Amazon and wherever you buy books online. Speaking of autographs, Valeria, have you ever asked anyone for their autograph?
I don't think so. How boring is that? Yes. It's I guess I've been intimidated about going and asking to these people, who are, it's a little embarrassing to me. Everybody's asking for the autograph. So I guess, but I have to say 2 years ago, I walked with my daughter to ask for somebody's autograph that I cannot even remember who that person was. And it was an excruciating pain inside of me. I was feeling a little embarrassed.
I'm with you. I think I've only done it once. It was Cal Ripken. I met him at some event I was attending, and so it almost felt awkward if I didn't ask him for his autograph. But I think it was the only one who didn't bring a baseball, which I felt kind of silly about. I was like, oh, now everyone knows how big of a baseball fan I am. But I'm with you. It's a little awkward. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I have many. For some reason, this movie comes to mind that I watched 25 years ago, Mi Vida, in Spanish with my husband. We were dating and we went to the movies and I cried so much that, he had to go through that experience of me sobbing. And we were dating and then we married. So I guess that was a good thing.
And
I
here
think
you
that
are.
in English, I think in English, that's My Life. I think that's the movie that comes to mind. I believe that's my favorite movie because it was the first time that I was very vulnerable in front of my boyfriend, sobbing essentially nonstop for a couple hours. So that created that good emotional connection. I don't know. Yes.
Hard to ever get that memory out of your head, and I see the connection there. Now back to your earlier comment from Argentina. Favorite smell? You mentioned you love the smells of Argentina. Maybe at a restaurant.
You know what it is? My favorite smell is how the grass smells after it's been raining. That's my favorite smell. And I grew up in a small town and I used to be outdoors a lot and riding my bike. So that's my favorite smell. And that brings up even today, that brings very good memories of, being in the sun and with friends and family and outdoors, and just growing up very loved. I was very loved as a child in my house, very blessed. So it brings all these memories back to me.
It's amazing how smells can do that for us, can't they?
Yes.
I feel like that happens to me so often. I'll smell something and it's like me right back to a moment 3, 5, 10, 15 years ago. What a lovely memory. So many memories in your sensory background here with movies and the smell.
Yes.
Last photo on your phone, just a few questions left and we'll wrap it up here. Last photo on your phone, Valeria.
Oh, you know what photo I have? The photo of myself clicking on the publish button on Amazon.
Speaking of today and this morning, so proud of you in getting your book out and hitting the publishing button on Amazon this morning. Gosh, we've been maybe working together for a year now, so it's really exciting to see you take this big step here. Favorite song to sing? Maybe when no one's listening.
Favorite song? Well, before COVID, I used to sing in a choir at church. So there is a song that I cannot remember the name, but it's about your mission and it's about stepping up into your mission. Actually, it's like, if not me, who? Something like that. I don't remember the name right now. I may post that later in my social media, but that's the song that comes to mind a lot in the last few months.
It sounds like that song has been your life's mission, from what I can gather so far from getting to know you over the last year. Favorite writing location as you went through the author journey?
A corner in my home office, a quiet corner next to a window, next to the sun. That has been my favorite spot. Quiet, kind of contained. Yeah.
I love it. Most bizarre moment in the writing journey?
Most what?
Most bizarre moment. What did you kind of say, wow, this is what writing is about? What's going on here?
Most bizarre moment. Most bizarre moment was when I've been very careful and intentional about honoring the stories of every Latina that I interviewed. And when I had to edit and chop, that felt very bizarre to me. But at some point in the beginning, I was very careful in what I was editing because I wanted to keep my 70,000 words. And I knew I was above the limit, even with too many words. People are not going to be reading long books. Okay, I get it. So at some point, it became very bizarre that I had this experience of letting go and just no attachments and just cut and trust the process. That was bizarre to me. I'm usually the person that is very methodic and trying to control a little bit. So letting go was a very bizarre experience, and the feeling inside of me was very unique and new. Yeah.
And what's for those who may not know, a typical book is around 40 to 50,000 words, which is about 250-ish pages. So 70,000 is, that's a pretty good size one. But yeah, letting those stories go and realizing you put all this time and energy into it, and you're just going to let that go.
Yes.
But trusting the process, trusting the coaching and the editors is a big part of it. And it takes a while to get there for so many of us. Last question here, and we'll wrap it up. Valeria Aloe, her new book, Uncolonized Latinas, going on Amazon this week, and her new podcast coming out tomorrow on the Creator Community on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts out there. Valeria, describe your writing journey in 5 words, if you would.
Oh, intense, nerve-wracking, inspirational, growth, and discovery. Those are the 5 words.
Inspirational, discovery. So many great thoughts there. Such a fantastic story. Uncolonized Latinas, a mission to change the world for Latinas, joining together, thriving together, learning together. What a beautiful story. It was really an honor to get to have you on the podcast, and I'm so excited to release the new episode tomorrow on YouTube at 10 a.m. Check out the Creator Community. Check out Valeria's book and order your copy this week on Amazon and wherever you buy books online. Valeria, great to see you. Now that everybody knows you and everything they need to know about you, we'll wrap it up here and say thanks for those that could tune in, and good luck with the publishing journey, or excuse me, the the publishing and getting your book out there to the market. No doubt you've got a great story to tell, and many will benefit from it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your support always, John. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Great to see you. Have a lovely week.
You too. Thank you so much.
Certainly. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining in, everybody.